Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Happy Sunday, grand rising, peaceful day. At least I set my intention for that. Always seems like I'm on the go, right? I actually am. Yeah, Sunday, Father's Day across the world, I assume. Also, Juneteenth. I was invited yesterday evening, to a wonderful remembrance celebration of Juneteenth. One of my long-term clients, lawyer clients, invited me. I am gratitude, first of all, to be in business in the one expression that I do with regard to natural hairstyling, and 10 years now. And I've met some wonderful souls. You know, you have a job or have had a job. You have a work. And you don't realize until time goes by that the avenues by which people come to know you and you get to know them forges wonderful, deep connections. And they bring you and begin to invite you into their world, their universes, and we do that for each other, right? So I purposely made time to receive the invite and to participate, in support of my client and her husband in their community. In bringing community together, they established, along with other neighbors, an African American heritage group. And so they put on this Juneteenth event, and there were two speakers there, women. One was a judge, and another an advocate for bringing conscious awareness with regard to voting and where we stand as melanin people in the state of North Carolina and the counties thereof. The first speaker, that was a judge, took us back in time to the 1800s, specifically breaking down and helping us to understand what it was like then and the things that were happening, and fast forward to things that are still happening. And then the second lady, I would say, is an organization that specifically works with women, educating women by helping them understand their impact to voting, and doing it in a way where it's one by one. One tells one educates one taps each other on the shoulder and say, hey, did you know? Or you're aware, And then there was a site that we all logged into to be able to use it as a platform for reaching out to your own community, if you wanted to. It was a pleasure to be amongst this community, and just in general, what I what I get from that, and then just what me just living here in the state that I am, and me being a melanin woman, and what I've observed growing up, and what I understand about our history, and still learning till this day. Oh my gosh, just being a beautiful African American melanin in our own culture every day. And I'm 65, I'm still learning truths about what really is our origin, not just the fact of being involuntarily brought into this country, but the fact that indigenous wise, we were always here as well. Melanin was here before then. So how do you know? Like, I have a really I've been drawn to investigate for my own self my lineage. I did start it with ancestry. I do want to do African ancestry, but I want to know. So let's speak about just this country and indigenous tribes, if you will. I'm going to say something. So when I look at my skin tone, I often like, it's kind of caramel. Like, I need to go all the way back. My daddy said that his grandma was Cherokee, right? So, what ancestry DNA system would I go to find out about my origin? Like if I go to African ancestry, is it going to show that if by chance I'm, Cherokee in my blood or whatever, is it strictly just going to show just, I don't know, like what if I didn't come from nothing? You know what I'm saying? I know I heard with African ancestry that they looked at the matriarch, the maternal DNA, and then ancestry, I think it just strictly goes based on the census, all the way back from the time they began to do the census. How can you tell if you had some indigenous in this land, before it was United States? I did see a map of the United States, but the original map of the indigenous tribes that were here, I printed out a copy. Screenshot it. I'm gonna show it to y'all. So in this map, where are we? Talking about ancestry. A couple of years ago, I went on vacation to Hilton Head, and there's a sister that we began to follow each other. She's also into movement and hula hooping. So, man, getting into adult hula hooping, there's so many tribes out there. Especially the melanin of all different ages of women, and I love it. It's such a camaraderie. So anyway, it was actually 2021, I believe. I had a small retreat event with a handful of people, handful of sisters, And it was on the Mother's Day weekend. And that Mother's Day, I had a friend who visited from California. We had done the Airbnb overnight. And that morning, which was Mother's Day, we did some Mother's Day readings, live streaming. And a young lady, one of my hula hoop, sisters, I say. It's not somebody I talk to all the time. But she saw us doing the readings, and I was talking about that at that moment we were on a self-retreat, and she said, you should consider coming down where I am for retreats. I said, well, where are you? And she said, Edisto Island. And I said, wow, okay. So I went to Hilton Head, and then on the way back, we stopped by Edisto Island. Man, when we were driving down these roads onto the land, onto the island, I felt like I was going back in time. Just the energy, the low-hanging trees. There's some sort of moss tree. I forgot the name of it. But, if you ever been to a savannah or look at movies of times back in, down in that area, these moss low-hanging trees. So you go on and they're hanging, and I'm driving towards this young lady where she was staying. I felt like I was driving back in time. I could literally hear, come on, y'all, in my spirit, I literally could hear the clop, 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 clop of wagon, like horses, a horse-drawn carriage. And I said, ooh, Chad, what's going on up in this here? Oh! And I kept going, ooh, it just felt like we were going back in time. So when I drove up to where she was, she said, how did you feel driving here? I said, wow. Ooh. So she gave us some history of Edisto Island. She gave us some history of what brought her down there. A young lady, I don't think she was 30, and her little boy, they lived in New Jersey, I think she said. And during the pandemic, and she's a community activist. She helps youth understand about agriculture and farming in the city and things like that. This is what I remember of her. And so she began, I think we had a good meal. She's a culinary artist, and she, since then, has gone into that field. She talked about being one who would be like not a tour guide, but one who would be a connection in that area for people to travel, especially young people, to come and get into the land and get into the farming and get into the history and the origin of Edisto Island. And her ancestors, she talked about her ancestors. She talked about how she had a dream. So when the pandemic came, she lost her job or was laid off. It was just her and her son up there in New Jersey, and they needed to find a place to stay. And she had a profound dream, that her grandfather said, go see Evelyn. That wasn't the name, but a family member. And she said, the only Evelyn I know, I communicated with her on Messenger. Let me go back and see if I can find the message. And when she did. She found the phone number, and I think she said she called, and after the discussion or something, she realized it wasn't that Evelyn, it was another Evelyn, a cousin Evelyn in Edisto Island. And it turns out that cousin lived in a house, and they had a property, in their family, and there was another house next door that was empty. And that Evelyn was praying that a family member would come and live in the house instead of them renting it just to anybody or having anybody live in it. Long and short, this baby girl ended up down there. She ended up down there in this house, and She created a farm, and I mean, yeah, grew stuff. It was, we took pictures of her farming. I have that interview. If I can find it, I'm gonna insert it, y'all, because it was very nostalgic. And then she gave me a book that one of her other cousins wrote. It was a project where he interviewed the elders in Edisto Island, the history. Oh my God. I gotta find that book, y'all. I'll show you the cover. Oh, it talked about how when I guess, during the war, the soldiers came and raided the land. They heard that the soldiers come, and this, they had to leave the land. The farm owners or the plantation owners left, abandoned the people that was working on the farm. I don't know if they were slavery or they were free at the time. I'm bad, but it left the people high and dry. They had to fend for themselves. And then when things was cleared up, they came back and they worked the land and for themselves. They were first taken, their ancestors, away involuntarily and then placed in these plantations. And then when the war came, the plantation owners said, okay, peace out, you on your own. And so they had to survive and hide. And then they came back, the melanin, our people, and worked the land to try to survive. They weren't given nothing. And then the president at the time sent some soldiers down and with a letter. It was all in the book. The letter that was written from the president at the time told this general to go down there and deliver this letter, basically saying, y'all got to get up out of here. Because the plantation owners is coming back. And y'all got to go. We don't know where you're going, but you got to get up out of here. Yeah, the letter is in that book. I mean, stories of the lives of the slaves on the plantations down there. About the museum in DC, the African American Museum. There's a slave house there, an original cabin that was transported and put back together. Guess where it came from? Edisto Island. This young lady's family, that's her lineage, lived in that cabin. When she gave me that book, and I drive back home, by the time I got back home, I sat in the car for about 2 hours because I started reading the book. It made me activate an account to start to research my ancestry. And I was talking to my daddy. This is appropriate time to talk about today's Father's Day. Yeah, that's a part of your lineage, whether you know your father or not. That thing activated because we here now. We focus on our present moment. But when you start to take the journey of curiosity and inquisitiveness and walk to go back into history. So I began to do the ancestry. And my father, he said to me, when you look at so the ancestry is based on public records and the census, and you can literally see a picture of the handwritten census. They had the occupations. If so, they would go to a household, and if there was a man in the household, whether he was the husband or not, or maybe it's a woman and her children, and maybe the husband's gone off somewhere to war or something like that. If the oldest child is 5 years old, they listed it as the head of household. Did you know that? And then they listed everybody else in the household. My daddy said to look at that copy of the census and look at the names above and below, because typically they are family members that live in that same area. Most families lived like a commune. They lived in communities together. I feel like that's where we need to get back to. is communities together, right? Because there's an exodus going on in different ways. I see an exodus happening first in traditional church, people leaving. I see an exodus of melanin people leaving this country and going elsewhere where they're much appreciated. I've been watching y'all sisters, especially y'all 50 plus. There's women. Look, YouTube Stephanie Perry, Perry. Don't get mad at me because I turn you on to her now. Sisters, y'all been working hard for the money. And you get into a particular space with you by yourself or with your boo thing or with your boo thing and your baby things, they grown or whatever. But I'm seeing a whole lot of women, a lot of us out here doing this solo. Not because we want to, because picking. That's another topic. Anyway, you here. And so Stephanie Perry lights the fire on the black women to consider the possibility of not having to struggle and live hard for the rest of your life, especially you get into retirement seasons. For me, I'm at the age, according to the US of A, retired, but I don't retire. I'ma always be active. Yeah, I'ma always get up and create some flow. Anybody got time for that? I got things to do and experiences to experience and intersections and connections, right? So she encourages black women to look at their life, create more balance, even if it's work that you enjoy doing, but if it's something you don't enjoy doing, what are your skills and talents that you can offer the world to allow you to be more free in the way that you flow? So I just recently tapped in. She has these conferences every year. I watch her interviews with groups of women, single, married, whatever, that have adjusted their lives to thrive higher and better and with more ease and breadth and less stress by relocating, by first either taking a long break from work, how to save up, how to do that, how to strategize, how to retrain the mind that yes, you can do this, how to take sabbaticals. That's where I'm at. I am painting a new picture of the idea of how I flow. A sabbatical lifestyle. First, I'm dipping my feet in the water of the idea of a sabbatical lifestyle. That around Thanksgiving, when my birthday's there, I'm going to go visit my people, kiss, and then get on a plane somewhere for 2 weeks or a month. I'm building up to that. I took the first step this past February 2024, went on a cruise for a few days. In the middle of the winter, changing the scenery, which helped me actually emotionally. Because that whole wintertime thing coming, the seasonal affective disorder, I don't like to say I have that. I don't even like to say that. All of these labels that this dimension, this planet be putting on ain't nothing wrong. You're just a spiritual being that have different sensitivities. We all do in different ways. But they want to say it's a disorder. No. When the wintertime comes, I tend to feel like I want to sleep until spring. So I've discovered that it's best to shift the atmosphere. So in the middle of the winter, I go travel. Feel much better. So that's my routine. So getting into sabbatical lifestyle. But Stephanie Perry also talks about, okay, well, look, she shares her life of how she took off for a whole year and traveled, I think to China or something like that. And then she's like, oh, I like this. I like this. I like this freedom. And man, she's been a digital nomad ever since. She does international house sitting. You think, what? You probably say, oh, that's so strange to not have your own thing. Girl, she traveling all over the world, enjoying fabulous accommodations. Now she has a university. You download learn what it is that she's teaching you and then coach with her so that you can experience more freedom. And more, when I go to her page, when people come into her lives, they're like, oh, thanks, Stephanie. I took your course. Thanks for the conference, the consultation. I'm in Paris now. Some of them like, I'm in Paris, me and my family, house sitting. What? I'm in Paris. I'm in Italy. See this mansion I'm staying in. Man, look. And so her interviews that she had with groups of women. The last one I saw was a woman that early retired at 62 on her way to Panama. Then, look, as she goes into detail, how did she decide to do it at 62? What was the reason? How she's transitioning, how she closing her life, her things and property out here and getting over there. Ew, yeah. Then, in Stephanie Perry's group is called Ladies, Sisters, Exodus, Exodus, EXOD, capital US, as in we out of here, Exodus. Like in the Bible, we out of here, Exodus. We, us, leaving, exit the US. And I saw a posting where a lady said, hey, I'm over here in Ecuador. I know everybody been wondering, how I made my decision. And so she gave about 10, 20 points of the benefits and what she's experienced over there in Ecuador. Cost of living. People be talking about how they living right on their Social Security. Easy. I'm not telling no lie. Stephanie, Perry, on YouTube. Yeah, this sister in Ecuador, the main one thing was the health care. There's better health care outside this United States. You hear about it. You hear the trickling of it. You can't get it in your mind because we're stuck in this matrix that say you got to have things exactly this way. It says you have to be at a 9 to 5. You must have the 401k that comes through the 9 to 5. You have to get permission to get off of your 9 to 5. Go ahead and work the 9 to 5 so you can be tied into a mortgage that's going to keep you here. Don't listen to other countries. We're going to point out to you the worst in all those places. They're not going to tell you that people are living over there with grace and ease. But slowly but surely, when you watch her channel, and then people who already said, I'm done with this, wherever they choose to be. I saw one, this wasn't from her channel, but it was about Ghana. It's about what's happening in Ghana. I saw this 70-year-old lady. Now, when I find these videos, I love, being in the shop, sharing knowledge, and my clients share knowledge with me. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And so I show them these videos. They taking notes. Who do I need to connect with? How do I do that? I'm like, this is happening today, right now. 70-year-old lady in Ghana. I think she moved from the DMV. Oh, no, she's from the DMV, but she lived in Raleigh for a while. She's 70. She got 16 grandchildren, big family. In 2019, Ghana said, come home. We got land free for y'all. She got free land. Did I say she got free land? All she had to do was pay the taxes. It was like $700. $700 just to clear this land. She got a plot, which is a quarter of an acre, I believe. Because me and another client was measuring that thing out. Watching her she was being interviewed, giving a tour of her all on one floor home, all on one floor, 4-bedroom house. She got one room as an Airbnb. She intends to make the house an Airbnb and get her a smaller cottage. She went, for her, it was a spiritual journey. She had gone into her ancestry and found out that her people came from this particular land that she lived on. And it's actually a biblical story associated with how she got to this land. When I post this on YouTube, I'm going to put the link. I'm going to tell y'all no lie. I'll also put the link for Stephanie Perry, one of her interviews, or maybe the 62-year-old lady that's going to Panama, something. Y'all going to have some links below, I'm telling you. Man. So I'm on a mission, a visioning mission for myself. Yeah. I got my checklist, passport, network, get into these groups. I've already, from someone that I saw or heard, YouTube, I'm working with a coach. She is in Lake Chapala, Mexico. I'm talking to women that are operating and living at the level that I desire. This young lady, works with women 55 plus to help you get structured in your foundational life to move to the next levels of opportunity and expansion, to travel and be in your gifts of flow. My gifts of flow. I desire to do what I was doing pre-COVID. I'm a sound healer. I love being able to participate in conferences and events. I did so in 2017 and 19. A dear friend in California who saw me live stream and never met me, but saw what I was doing, and I saw what she was doing. And next thing you know, I'm on an all-expenses paid cruise as a facilitator, bringing sacred sound to women that showed up from all over the country. We did it 2017 and 2019. I wasn't by myself. There was other facilitators. We out on the water. It was called Spiritual Living, Spiritual Self-Care Retreat for Women. And it was a cruise. And this was my friend Tasha. She organized retreats for women. Destination and cruises. It was a wonderful experience. It brought me outside of my comfort zone. I see myself traveling with people. Ask for Mama Wanda, ask for Chakra to come. And I've done some more of that, not internationally, but locally last year when I launched Lake Therapy, where I had groups of people coming to different lakes around where I live at. And I'm taking it through a journey of inner reflection and meditation and sound by water, how to tune into natural time in the midst of this matrix. So, my coach lives in Lake Chapala, Mexico, and her and another lady are now co-owners of the first woman-owned bed and breakfast. They launched it, a grand opening in January of 2024. I got to get my act together because I plan on I see it through the video and I'm going to be there. I feel that I am. Maybe I could take a singing bowl or two and participate in a retreat that they do. I don't know. I just know something. And I see little nuances as signs of confirmation because this particular coach, turns out two people that I know where I live at know her. Ain't that something? She's also an artist as well as does music, part owner of this bed and breakfast, got that going on, coaching, got that going on. And there's people that I see as I watch these videos of her. She interviews other people. Stephanie Perry interviews other people. I just saw Stephanie in an interview with some sisters. I think they call them the baby boomer best friends on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the conversation was popping. We baby boomers, right? We not sitting down. And we fighting each other. And sisters, look. There is a silent underground railroad going in the melanin community. People getting out. They saying they tapping, hey, have you heard about this? Did you know that? We living it over here. We doing it right here. We're not spending it. The lady in Africa that bought her land and paid $700 to get the land clear, and her house on a plot, a quarter of an acre, did I say? $70,000 for her house. Yeah, I said 70,000. So, but all of this has to do with networking, connecting with people who are already there or where you desire to be, no matter if it's relocating physically from one place to the other, if it's maybe a career or a calling that's tapping you in the heart so hard. Get with those who are actually at that level of dimension. Don't procrastinate. Start talking to the people that ain't been there. That most of them is your family. Love them, but you ain't got to know everything. People, when they start to look like this, when you talk to them about your dreams and visions, when they looking like this, you shut up. you know, whatever your calling is and your interest is, be excited about it, study it, get it free information, go around people that's doing it. You're not by yourself. Don't get upset because your people that are close to you don't get it. Now I know it's a little challenging when you in a coupleship, especially married. How do you y'all go along and everything good in the beginning. And then one of y'all like, you're experiencing a shift. Maybe one is their conscious awareness is expanding, and then they want to do different things. But the other one's like, I ain't down for that. I can't get my mind around it. Bless y'all's heart. It take a lot. You get together with other people. Maybe you are a rose, and they okay, and you are a tulip. I don't know. No. Maybe you're a rose. No, you're a tulip, and who you with is a bamboo. The bamboo don't come up out the ground for a long time. It takes time to grow, but you're blossoming. You smelling, your petals is coming up, and they're like, I need you to calm down, cause fix me some dinner. And you like, I'm traveling. I don't know. I'm messing with y'all couples. I'm free. And I love love. I love freedom. I love freedom within love. Anyway, I see it's more and more about how we are making choices. Different choices that are maybe unusual of what previous generations or ancestors did. This 70-year-old woman, for example, she did not succumb to ageism. Her family loved her enough to let her go, but she did go with a couple of grandchildren. But what she is doing is creating a legacy on so many levels. So if something happens here in the U.S., she said she kept her home for her kids to do hot. And if something happened, and they all got their passports, because we're talking to each other, because we little bit at a time, small groups here and there, our little tribes, we say, hey, tribes are coming together. Tribes are coming together. Like last night, my client, she's in a tribe in her neighborhood. They talking to each other. Instead of cutting their grass, don't say nothing. No, we need to come together. Let's celebrate and remember where we are, who we are, why we got here. And pay attention to what's going on. But we're coming together as tribes. Some of your co-workers, one of the close ones, you create a tribe. How many tribes do I have? Let me see. Associated with the hair industry, because that's my main thing. So I got a tribe of people and connections within the hair industry that I have socialized with. I go on trips with, things like that. 1 or 2, 3 people, okay? Or we connect and share. We do business together. We refer back and forth, right? You get it? Tribe. Before that, the field of massage and healing. I was in that for years. I still connect with people there. My tribe. One of them, I co-facilitate a sister circle. We known each other 10 years, but we came from the massage industry together. Worked for some of the massage centers, but we always had our private practice. Before that, it was my corporate world. I spent 24 years in corporate America. I know probably 2, 3 people that I keep in contact with. That's a tribe. Coming back to doing hair, years ago, there's a melanin family that I keep in touch with, a young man. He's my spiritual son and his family. They my tribe too. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Me being a woman of a certain season, I have tribal connection with other women. Well, I really have a lot of connection with women in my age. I'm like that one that is in my season, but also is has an ageless spirit like me. Okay, yeah. I can only because a lot of I find when it comes to the idea of age. Let me just say this. No, wait, before I say the other thing, let me go back. So I have a tribe of women, or at least 2 women that are in their 80s, late 70s and 80s. Vibrant women. That's a tribe. You understand? I got a spiritual mother. She actually younger than me. I have a spiritual mother who I talk to often for guidance and mentoring. And then there's a male energy who is of a senior age that is I would say just a high metaphysical wisdom father who gets right into your stuff right away if you do a reading with him, So I was going to say something. I lost my thought. But it had to do with just looking at who you're connected with, those that add value. You turn around, you're like, oh my God, we've known each other 10 years, we've known each other 15 years, we've known each other 20 years, I'm talking about people who add value. You add value to where there's an equal exchange. And there may be times where you're going to journey with each other for a while, and it's going to be time to you to take a detour. You know that you could check back in every so often, and you're still connected, but you ain't on that same road, 2 lanes. And you gotta know when to do that. I tell my children, when it comes to who you connected with, I see it as zones. Like, okay, the circumference of my body close to me, that's the A zone. Those are the anointed ones. Those, the ones that can stay, that's closest to you, that's confident, keeps things in confidence, don't judge you. You know, that's probably only one, maybe two. Then you got the B zone, ABC. I'm going somewhere. Those are the ones that want to be with you sometime, meaning connect with you or support you in different things. Right? They're not close, but they like right here. But then you got the C zone. They C. They just want to see what you're doing, see what you got, see what you offering. See, they ain't trying to do nothing. They're not trying. How do you, chakra? How do you, stay calm and choose peace? And but they ain't trying to do the work. They just trying to see it, see what you're doing. A lot of people that see what you're doing, they're not even acknowledging that they're seeing what you're doing. Some people see you and they hate you, but they smile in your face. and they think that you don't know. Some of their behavior, like when some people, sometimes you can take it as a compliment, but sometimes people see you and they try to duplicate what you do. They admire you. They don't even acknowledge. You know what? I was inspired to do this or make this or whatever. Or travel. I was inspired. Why don't we give each other credit? It's okay, but I don't need no credit. I don't need no credit because I'm here operating the way that I do. I accept me as I am, especially in this social media platform thing. I have to remember why, if I choose to express or do something like talking while I'm taking a long drive, I always have to say to myself, there's going to be one person that sees this. I had to stop for a second. Before I left the house, I was cleaning up and I was spraying some disinfectant. I think the cleaning stuff. I think I did too much because my lips around here is tingling and my sinuses are draining. I think I inhaled too much, but let's see. I had some water. I had a little bottle. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, y'all. Let me go back to what I was saying. See, I lose my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Oh, Lord. Bring it back. Okay. It's going to come back. Somebody in the comments, tell me what I was talking about. Oh, I think I was talking about how I have to, when I'm if I choose to do social media because I want to. I'm an introverted, I'm an extroverted introvert. And then I'm always channeling and hearing for guidance for myself. I want to share it. And so here I do. I'm a talk as if I'm talking to one person. Because guess what? I have learned a lot by hearing someone else's story, by being encouraged by real life, no fluff, lights and cameras. You know what I mean? Like, all the apps and tools and make things pretty and all that. Got to pay attention to the algorithms, and you get so distracted on trying to keep up with the algorithms and the likes and the comments that actually what you're saying, it may be designed just for one person, and they may not even see at the time that it's delivered. They may see it in the future. So I'm talking to the one person. You know what? That's what I'm going to do as I continue to leave my imprint on the planet through sharing videos, of what I'm feeling and sharing the heart, sharing wisdom from my walk. I'm talking only to one person. I ain't talking to all of y'all. I'm talking to one person, sis. Who I'm talking? I'm talking to someone that just like me, maybe. You at a part of your life, you're like, dang, am I 65? Am I 70? I don't feel like it. You sassy, you want to move, you want to create. And the reason why you create and you move and you do the different things because you're reharnessing that energy. That the energy. It's got to go somewhere. This world says there's supposed to be a traditional route. You come in, you get married, you got 2.5 kids and a picket fence and a white dog. But not all of us follow that. I'm talking about what I heard or what, I experienced in that was one of the paradigms. Well, I ain't in that. That didn't happen for me. I've been blessed to have two beautiful children. It wasn't planned, like in my conscious mind it wasn't planned, but the divine planned it. That's right, true. I also believe in past lives, and I also believe in pre-birth arrangements, meaning, or not arrangements, but I believe, because I was drawn to the information. There's a book out there about the concept that you plan your life with your spirit guides. We plan to have experiences. When we come through the earthly plane, amnesia happens, but we play roles for each other, good, bad, or indifferent, so that you can work out your karma. And there's some books out there, hopefully I can remember. I'll put the link below in the YouTube. Yeah. Now I'm going in a whole other direction. She's like, what's she talking about? If you say, what's she talking about, and can't vibrate with this, you need to stop the video. Stop looking at me. But the one or two that do, you know what I'm saying? Seriously. Like, I'm serious. There's a whole genre of the discussion about that idea. That, let me say it again, that you plan or co-plan with the divine on what you want to experience in this life journey. That's a whole nother podcast. Living an awakened life. Did I not say that this was an episode? No, it's not a podcast because I ain't talked to nobody else. I guess, I don't know. I'm talking to y'all. Yeah. But I'm talking to you who happen to scroll, or the video just happened to come up because it has hashtags that relate to what you are navigating now, or have navigated, or getting ready to approach navigating. You're here. You've gone through many things in your life that has caused you to be in a space where you're choosing to live in a higher, thriving way. Consciously, intentionally, with everything you do. And when you get up in the morning, you reset and remind yourself what you committed to. I commit to living an awakened life. I need to see where I'm going. North. Do I just keep straight? Let me check my GPS. This is real time. 23 miles. You routing.